Good afternoon, everyone. So, our first lesson showed us kung paano ba makapag-determine ng limit ng isang function using table of values, right? So, in order for us to determine the limits of a function, nag-fill tayo ng table of values wherein yung pag-fill natin ng table of values na yan, sometimes it requires a very long process of calculations or very tedious calculations, right? Kasi isa-isahin pa natin siyang isosolve bawat values ng x natin to get the values of y in order for us to determine the limit of a function. So, ganun din, likewise, when we use graph of a function to determine a limit. Kasi, before you graph, syempre kukunin mo rin yung table of values mo. And then, after that, mas mahaba na naman yung process kasi from table of values, isa-isahin mo pa ipa-plot ngayon tong mga values na nakuha mo dito sa table of values mo doon sa ating graph para malaman natin yung limit ng isang function. So, however, this should not be the reason para hindi na ma-fail tayo. I mean, hindi natin ma-determine yung limit ng isang function. So, in this new lesson, we will learn how to compute yung limit ng isang function using limit theorems or we call it limit laws. So, I guess we are now ready to list down the basic theorems on limits. Pero bago yan, I would like you to know kung ano ba yung ating mga objectives at the end of this lesson. So, at the end of this module, you are expected to illustrate the limit laws and apply the limit laws in evaluating the limit of algebraic functions, which is yung polynomial natin, rational, and radical. So, dalawa lang yung learning objectives natin for this lesson. So, ano nga ba ang limit laws? So, when we say limit laws, ginagamit natin ito as an alternative way para ma-solve natin yung limit ng isang function na hindi tayo gagamit ng table of values at saka graph. Okay? So, technically speaking, ito yung magiging shortcut ways natin para ma-determine natin agad yung limit ng isang function. So, I guess we are now ready to list down yung mga basic theorems natin or basic laws natin on limits. So, meron tayong 8 na limit laws and this will enable us to directly evaluate limits without the need for a table of values or a graph. Okay? So, in the following statements, gagamitin natin ang letter C, as a constant. Okay, let's denote letter C as a constant and F at saka G. Let's denote letter F and G as our functions which may or may not have C in their domains. So let's start with our first limit law. Okay. Ang ating unang theorem or limit law ay the limits of a constant is itself. So if k is any constant, then the limit then the limit of k as x approaches c is equal to k. Okay? Meaning to say, kapag meron tayong ang hinahanap natin ng kapag ang hinahanap natin na limit ay constant, yun na rin mismo yung magiging limit na hinahanap natin. Okay? For example, let's find the limit of 2 as x approaches c. Okay? Is equal to, since ang hinahanap natin ng limit ay isang constant, si 2 ay isang constant, Meaning to say, siya rin yung magiging value or siya rin yung limit na hinahanap natin mismo. Okay? Another is that the limit of, let's say, we have negative 3.14 as x approaches c is equal to, again, since constant yung ating hinahanap na limit, siya na rin mismo yung magiging limit na, siya na rin yung value ng limit na hinahanap natin. Kasi, basta as long as constant lang yung limit na hinahanap natin. Okay? Okay, and lastly, limit of, let's say we have 789 as x approaches 2. O, wag kayong maguluhan kahit mayroon pa tayong value ng c dito sa kung saan siya mag-approach. As long as constant number yung nandoon na sa limit na hahanapin mo, yun at yun lang din yung magiging limit na hinahanap natin. Okay? And that is the first limit law or theorem natin sa limit. The limits of a constant is itself. As simple as that. Second theorem is the limit of x as x approaches c is equal to c. Okay? So, this time, kung ano naman yung value kung saan mag-approach yung x natin, kung ang hinahanap lang natin ay ang limit ng x, yung kung saan mag-approach yung x natin, yun na rin yung magiging limit na hinahanap natin. For example, the limit of x as x approaches 9, okay? By the second limit natin, sabi niya the limit of x as x approaches c, ang c natin ay si 9, di ba? Is equal to c. Therefore, ang limit natin dito will be 9 kasi yun yung ating c natin. If we're looking for the limit of variable x. Okay? Iba po yung constant kasi hindi naman constant si x eh. Si x ay variable. So, ganun lang siya. Okay? Another example. The limit of x as x approaches let's say 10. Okay? Since variable ulit siya, variable x, and then saan mag-approach yung ating x is 10, and ito yung ating c, therefore, ito rin yung mismong magiging value or limit ng hinahanap natin ng variable x natin. Okay? As long as, kahit anong number pa mag-approach yung ating x, as long as yung ating hinahanapan ng limit ay x or variable x, kung ano yung value ng c natin, kung saan mag-approach yung x natin sa baba, yun na rin mismo yung ating limit na hinahanap. And that is our second limit law or theorem. The limits of x as x approaches c is equal to c. Okay, so this time, let's proceed to the third law or theorem ng ating limit, which is the constant multiple theorem. Okay, so this time, for the remaining theorems na, mag-a-assume tayo na yung limits ng f at saka g both exist as x approaches c, and then yung kanilang magiging limit ay L at saka capital L at saka capital M respectively. So in other words, no? So in other words, i-assume natin, ayan. I-assume natin na yung limit, let's say, ng f of x natin as x approaches c is equal to L. Yan yung kanyang limit. Pero kapag ang g of x naman natin, let's say, that should be g of x. So, kapag g of x naman as x approaches c is equal to m. Okay? So, i-denote natin na ang limit ng function f ay L at ang function g naman natin, ang kanyang limit will be m. Okay? Now, dito tayo, balik tayo sa ating pangatlong theorem, which is the constant multiple theorem. This the limit of a constant k times a function is equal to the product of that constant and its function's limit. This says, sinasabi niya dito na yung limit ng multiple of a function is simply yung multiple of the limit of the function. Okay? Yung k natin dito ay constant. And then yung function. So, i-multiply lang natin yung constant times yung limit ng given function natin. For example, let's say, if the limit of f of x as x approaches c is equal to 4, then, okay. So, meron tayong value ng ating function na function f, okay, which is 4. So, if we're using the constant multiple theorem, at ang hahanapin natin na limit ay, let's say, limit of 8 times f of x as x approaches c. Okay? So, by using the constant multiple theorem, meron tayong constant, tsaka meron tayong function, right? So, all we need to do is to ilabas muna natin si constant before limit. Kasi, di ba, ano na nga ulit yung ating first theorem? Sabi niya, the limit of a constant is itself. So, later on, mamaya dyan, magre-remain lang din si 8 dyan. Okay? So, pag nilabas natin yan, this will look like 8 and then the limit of f of x as x approaches c. Okay? So, ganyan ang magiging itsura niyan. So, therefore, di ba, ang limit ng constant ay yung sarili niya mismo, constant. So, magre-remain ng ating 8 dyan, times ano ba yung limit ng ating function na f. Given na yung ating limit ng f of x, and that is 4. Therefore, we only need to multiply 8 times 4 to get the limit of the given. Okay, therefore, 8 times 4 will give us the answer 32. And this is now the limit of the given function. Okay, so let's try another example. What if we are looking for the limit of, mag-fraction tayo, the limit of 3/2 times the f of x, same given tayo if limit of f of x is equal to 4 as x is approaching c. Okay, so ang ating unang example at yung pangalawang example. So the limit of 3/2 times f of x as x approaches c. Okay, i-rewrite natin yung ating limit, ilabas natin yung ating constant, then limit, then f of x as x approaches c. Okay, so 3/2 kasi constant naman yung 3/2 natin. The limit of the limit of a constant is itself, so 3/2 pa rin yan, times, again, yung f of x natin ay given na yung kanyang limit, which is 4, so multiply lang natin. 3/2 times 4 will give us 4 times 3 is 12, divided by 2 will give us the limit 6. And that is the answer for our second example. As simple as that. Wag na naman kayong mag-shortcut sa inyong mga solution na follow the steps. Okay? Kung may nakita kayong constant, kailangan nyo siyang ilabas muna para ipakita kung paano nagawa yung ating, or ipakita kung paano yung process ng ating theorem. And then, tsaka kayo mag-multiply, and then para makuha natin yung limit na hinahanap natin. And that is the third theorem or limit law natin, the constant multiple theorem. Okay, next tayo. we have addition theorem. Okay. Actually, itong mga susunod na theorem, magkakasunod to addition theorem, subtraction theorem, and multiplication. Ayan, itong tatlo. Addition, subtraction, and multiplication, pare-pareho lang po sila ng process. Okay? Ang pinagkaiba lang dyan, syempre kung ano yung ginamit na operation. Siyempre, kung addition, di mag-plus ka, subtraction, mag-subtract ka or mag-minus ka, and then pag multiplication, edi mag-times ka, okay? Pero pare-pareho sila actually ng process, okay? So, unahin natin ang ating addition theorem. So, dito sa addition theorem natin, the limit of a sum of functions is the sum of the limits of the individual functions. So, sinasabi dito na yung limit ng sum of a function is the sum of the limits ng ating individual functions. So, ganun din sa subtraction. Okay? And then, dun sa multiplication natin. So, example tayo. If, meron tayong if dito. If, let's say, f of x, lagyan natin ng limit, sorry. If the limit of f of x function natin ay 4 and limit naman natin ng ating g of x kasi syempre mag-add tayo, kailangan natin ng dalawang function. So gagamitin natin ng f of x tsaka g of x. As x approaches c is equal to negative 5. Okay, so ito yung ating given. We have two functions. Now, if we are going to use the addition theorem, the process will be like this. So, mag-add tayo the limit of f of x plus yung ating g of x, di ba? As x approaches c, paghiwalay lang yung pinapakita ko lang yung definition ng ating addition theorem. So sabi niya, the limit of a sum of functions is the sum of the limits of the individual function. Therefore, ihihiwalay natin siya, the limit of f of x is equal as x approaches c plus pinaghiwalay lang yung ating dalawang function kasi yun naman yung nakalagay sa ating definition ng addition theorem. Okay? So, since given na yung mga limit ng ating function ng f of x at saka g of x, which is 4 and negative 5, so, ilapat lang natin na kasi given naman na siya. So, 4 plus negative 5, and that is 4. Siyempre, positive times negative will give us negative. So, 4 minus 5 will give us the answer negative 1. And this is now the limit of the given functions when we are using the addition theorem. Okay? The limit of a sum of functions is the sum of the limits of the individual functions. Okay? So, ito na rin kaya ang gamitin ko. Okay? So, copy lang natin. Ay, hindi na. Sige, sulat ko na lang siya sa kabila. Okay, so ganyan lang yung addition theorem natin. Next. Sunod tayo sa subtraction theorem naman tayo. So, kung paano yung ginawa natin sa addition theorem, ganun lang din ang gagawin natin dito sa subtraction theorem. Okay? Pinagkaiba lang yung operation na ginamit. So, isulat natin ulit. Gamitin na natin yung given natin kanina that if the limit of f of x as x approaches c is equal to 4 and ang ating g of x, limit ng g of x natin as x approaches c is equal to negative 5. Okay? So, ang hahanapin natin dito ay yung limit ng f of x minus g of x. Yan yung hahanapin naman natin dito as x approaches c. So, gaya sa addition theorem, paghiwalayin natin yung dalawang yan, para paghiwalayin natin yung limit ng dalawang yan para makuha natin yung limit natin. So, limit of f of x as x approaches c minus the limit of g of x as x approaches c. So, given ulit yung ating f of x tsaka g of x, which is 4 and negative 5. So, subtract na lang natin yung kanilang limit. So, 4 minus negative 5. So, simplify natin kasi negative times negative will give us positive. So, 4 plus 5 is equal to 9. Okay? So, magkaiba lang yung operation na ginamit. Kanina, addition. So, nag-subtract tayo. Kanina addition, nag-add tayo. But this time, syempre pag subtraction, gumamit tayo ng subtraction or minus sign. So, okay, so this time, let's continue our discussion sa isa pa nating recorded na video. Kasi hindi na kaya ng time natin, mahirap mag-upload ng napakahaba-habang time na recorded video. So, next is multiplication theorem and that will be discussed sa ating isa pang discussion.